Sure, the animation hasn't aged the best, but believe me, it looked just as bad in 2005.
Madagascar is definitely one of the DreamWorks franchises of all time.
As a kid, I loved the first and second movie, especially the second one. You know when you're a kid and there's that one movie you watched over and over? For me, that was Escape to Africa.
Looking back on it, I think IHE described it the best.
The penguins are capitalists through and through.
I never saw the third movie.
Alright, I know the people who sent the missile after I said I liked Resurrections are getting a little antsy, but you know, shut up. However, one thing DreamWorks was always good at was tie-in games. No, I don't mean good in like they were good, I mean like they were good at like being consistent. Today we're going to be looking at 5 Madagascar games plus one of the handheld versions of those games. Anyways, let's look at the first game on our radar. Where's my GameCube? Let's look at the first game on our radar. Madagascar for the GameCube.
Most of these games were published by Activision and developed by either Vicarious Visions, Toys for Bob, or even both. Yeah, the Crash and Spyro remasters, those had their humble beginnings. They also had some, not so humble features.
Anyways, let's put Madagascar for the GameCube.
Ah yes, the title screen, where Mort looks like he took a 450mg edible. AKA Mort normally. After we create a new save file, oh shit, the opening sequence is playing again. Time loop, there's a time loop! Whatever, let's skip. Oh, I see.
So the DreamWorks logo is part of the opening cutscene. And because I skipped it, it also skipped the opening cutscene. I see what you're doing.
Also, like most licensed games, that's not Chris Rock. Maybe that's for the better. Alright, let's collect the 3 cards, get the kick, collect coins to buy items in the souvenir shop.
No.
A balloon. What hilarious antics will come from this?
Yeah, right.
If I pop another of these balloons, I talk funny.
Giggle. Giggle and slap your knees like a baby. Now.
As someone who really enjoyed Everything Everywhere All at Once, I appreciate the resolution change.
Hey, Alex! Just the line I wanted to see.
Okay, if the balloon thing carried over to the cutscenes, I think I would have panicked.
Come on, Marty! I remembered it's your birthday, okay? You don't have to butter me up.
So you couldn't get Ben Stiller, but could you at least have gotten someone who sounds like Alex Deline? That doesn't sound like him. That sounds like a rejected Sonic voice actor.
The next segment is an introduction to Alex. No, that one. Yeah, that one. It's a simple platformer challenge, seeing as Alex is basically the Mario of the game. I fell at one point and had trouble finding one of the cards, and then the game made fun of me for it.
You need to find your 3 power cards.
Well, if a game's gonna make fun of me for that, then I'd say we should move on to Madagascar 2 for the Wii.
I'm just curious, did Activision own the game rights to Madagascar for a bit? Like with Sony owning the film rights to Spider-Man? When we start with this game, they don't mislead us by playing the DreamWorks logo twice. We got a recap of the first movie and the premise for the second movie by King Julian, and I'll give them credit. They actually got a good Sacha Baron Cohen impersonator. Good job, Danny Jacobs. Holy shit, Alex is the same voice actor as Sundowner.
Like I said, kids are cool, Jack. And I'm very in touch with my inner child.
Also, I'm assuming that the emulator did this, but Marty becomes a hellspawn for a split second. Oh shit, so does Melman. Does Dolphin just freak out at the sight of an FMV? What's happening? Anyways, we start the game proper.
Wake up, Mr. Alex. Wakey, wakey, eggs and steaky.
Oh no, I'm having that dream again.
For some reason I was fighting some cyborg with a sword. The first part of our tutorial involves catching butterflies. So much for emulating this game. Thankfully you can also use the Z button. Toys for Bob looks out for people like us. I also learned by complete accident that you can put King Julian in the net. Give me the ear, give me the ear.
Wait. A main character named Alex with a sidekick who uses a camera. Oh, I'm not, making a comparison. I'm just pointing some stuff out.
The next tutorial is double jumping.
The camera loves you. Everyone.
Yep, that's the tutorial. Shit, Marty, there he is.
Go ahead, buddy. Clock me.
Oh
you're pretty fast, Marty.
Where did Mort come from? The next tutorial is for Marty. We have to race Mort, who has a soccer ball for some reason. Whenever you sprint as Marty, you do go pretty fast, but when you don't, he is very slow. You can knock Mort into nothingness and he'll respawn. I'm glad that's allowed. The next tutorial is Marty kicking soccer balls. What's with the balls everywhere? And why does Marty's face make it look like his balls? We go back to Alex for the next section. Can you speak up a bit, Mr. Julian? The next minigame involves using our roar to scare away birds. It wasn't working, so I quit.
Next we have Madagascar 3, also for the Wii. Madagascar 3 is the only Madagascar movie I haven't seen. What does that make me?
The next one wasn't developed by the usual studios and wasn't published by Activision. This time it was developed by Bandai Namco. Okay. Start with this. This is cinema. We get an interactive menu this time. I'm kind of sad this sort of thing went out of style because this was cool. Alright, so every time we do something, we're gonna watch this. Cool. Instead of King Julian being the one to harass us, it's one of the monkeys. This really illustrates the difference between Bandai Namco and Activision.
Gotten themselves into and back out of a rather sticky situation in Monaco, and met a ragtag group of circus performers.
Wait, so is this just skipping parts of the movie? Does this take place after the movie?
Taking them home to New York. Unfortunately, that plan didn't pan out so well.
Monkey person. You are boring to players. They're not even going to play this game if you don't stop with all of the talking.
Protagonist named Alex. Camera sidekick. Lots of talking. Again, I'm just pointing some stuff out.
Okay, this has to take place after the movie, right? They're just summarizing it now. Oh my god, how many times is this gonna play? Now we have our first gameplay segment, and Skipper is asking us to break some crates. Very topical choices for characters here. I will say though, these swimming controls aren't the worst. There's honestly nothing much else to say about this game, at least from what I've played, so I think it's best to move on to the next game.
Well, we've covered the 3 movies. What else is there to cover? A racing game.
Madagascar Karts, missed opportunity to call it Madagascarts, was released before Madagascar 3. You can tell because this game was made by Activision. Of course, unlike the other games, this game has an original opening where instead of King Julian harassing people, he's the victim of the harassment.
But King Julian, you don't know how to drive.
I don't remember your name, but you're not even looking at him. Also, is it just me, or did the characters look off here? King Julian looks absolutely terrifying. He reminds me of the old design for Movie Sonic. On the main menu, whenever you exit the options, King Julian says this to you.
Faster, you naughty little monkey.
What?
Your king is here.
Okay, I understand now. On the character select, we actually have 2 guest characters as unlockables. Of course, there's Shrek, the iconic one. I guess this game came out around the same time as Monsters vs. Aliens. But those are unlockable characters. Let's start simple with Alex. I tried out a quick race on the NYC Zoo track, and this music is very Mario Kart-y. Anyways, it's time to start the race.
I need the optimal time.
Some of the items include disco ball that messes up your controls, a beehive, I don't know what this does, and a PNG of a spider that makes your car bounce. Yeah, the items are the only thing about this game worth mentioning.
So most licensed kid games appeared on as many consoles as possible. Like, you know, Madagascar 1, that appeared on like, 6 platforms? This next game is different, however. It released only for the Game Boy Advance. It's Operation Penguin.
First off, can we talk about this title screen music? Eat your heart out, Toby Fox. Okay, so it asks us to pick a name. No. This game begins in someone's house, and it's Christmas time. Wait, why are we playing as this penguin? Our first mission is to defeat a boss. That boss being a dog. Do you get the joke? You expect the boss to be a big scary dog, but it's actually a little fella. Ain't that clever. We commit dog murder, and now it's on to the next level. 9 months later, a baby was born. But also to the events of the first movie.
So, what exactly was that first mission? A tutorial?
Skipper is telling them about how they need to get back to Antarctica because that's where they truly belong. He tells us to go to the training area? So that first boss wasn't a tutorial. What was the first boss then? Would you look at that? A hub world. That's not something you see very often in a GBA game. Yeah, the tutorial isn't that interesting, but what is interesting is the rat. This is incredibly out of place and doesn't look like it belongs in anything Madagascar related. Yo, we got that kick, we can be in Smash now. So I like the little penguin sprites on these signs. They're cute. Now that we've completed the standard tutorial, we can move on to tobogganing. I'd like to imagine they forgot to create a proper symbol for the toboggan sign, so they just threw a bunch of shapes on it. The tobogganing itself is actually pretty fun, but the music is very odd. Why is it like this? Our first proper mission involves getting to Melman and getting him to dance in order to distract the people at the zoo. That way the penguins will have an easier time digging their hole to Antarctica. Basic platformer level, and after playing it I lost interest very quickly.
Now for our last game, I played 3 of the handheld games, mainly because I wasn't sure which one to play, so we're just going to spin a wheel. And no, I did not play the handheld version of 2, I did not feel like it. Madagascar GBA it is.
Initials, Men. Our first mission is a tutorial level for
Alex the Lion.
I just want to say, his roar hitbox is one of the worst hitboxes I've ever seen. Next is Marty, who's the fast character. Melman's levels are more stealthy, and by that I mean you can make yourself invincible by crouching, and he can also use his sneeze on the returning horror rats, which, much like the roar, has very elaborate hitboxes. And there's Gloria, the only one who can swim. After completing the tutorial missions, we're on to our first true mission, which is called Daily Grind. If this game was released today, it would be called Daily Grind Set. Please wait!
Okay.
As you may expect, this game follows roughly the same plot as the movie. It's Marty's birthday and all that stuff. The first level is finding Melman and Gloria, and you can switch between Alex and Marty on the fly. Also, look at Alex's side flip, he should be in Smash. Also, I completely forgot that Marty has like the attack with the most functional hitbox. The second half of this level is Melman and Gloria. Gloria tells Melman that the cold is just in his head. So, Gloria is a COVID denier. The game really is just a basic 2D platformer, nothing much else of note here.
And if you're wondering what you're missing from the handheld versions of the other games, well, the DS version of 3 had a bullshit car segment at the beginning. But yeah, those are some games from the Madagascar franchise. I promise you, this video is completely unrelated to the incident. I mean...